Hey guys, welcome back, it's Matt here, and today is another Wondershare video. So if you would like to see more videos by Wondershare, definitely do subscribe, turn on the bell icon, and keep up to date with more videos we do. Today's video topic is a review of a $50 portable DVD player, which can actually come in pretty handy and is actually very good considering the price. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive in and take a closer look at this DVD player. So the first thing I'm going to be mentioning is the display, because really the display is sort of the window into the movie world. And so if you have a decent enough display, you will actually sort of feel like you're more immersed into the movie. So this DVD player doesn't do Blu-ray, it only does just standard DVDs, and that means that it supports 720p HD video, so it doesn't support full native 1080p, which would have been nice, but most DVDs out there which are just standard tend to just be 720p HD anyway, so it's not really much of a big deal. And I've watched quite a few movies myself on this just to purely try it out and see my experience, but overall I found it to be very good. I did sort of get immersed into the movies and I didn't concentrate much on the actual display, I was just watching the content, if that makes sense. Something else about the display is that it does have a 12.5 inch display, which is pretty large and it's nice enough for viewing and you can see it from pretty far away. So it's not too much of a big deal. Obviously you don't want to be on the other side of the room when you're watching this, but when you're sitting a few meters away from it, it's definitely watchable. But something I really did like about the display was that it's rotatable, so it rotates up to 270 degrees, so pretty much all the way around, and then it has sort of a tilting rotation of 180 degrees. So you really do have flexibility in how you watch this. You could pretty much mount it in your car, and you could sort of swivel it around the other way and have it mounted on the back of your seat. There's many different ways you can rotate this thing in order to sort of suit your situation, and especially if you have kids watching this, you might want to have the DVD player part on the back so they don't accidentally push any buttons or eject the disc. The display itself, I'm pretty sure, is a TN panel, so basically when you're looking at it from different angles, it doesn't have the best viewing angles. When you're looking at it from the side on, it's not too bad, but when you're looking at it from below, it does look quite dark and contrasted, and it is kind of hard to see things. So make sure the display is lined up correctly and is parallel to your face when you're watching it. That will ensure the best experience. In terms of the actual colors, contrast, brightness, that's all adjustable. There is a menu for the display. You can go in there and customize the contrast, the brightness, and all that. Personally, if you make the brightness too high, it will sort of wash out the image. So I personally would like the brightness low. I did up the contrast and I upped the saturation a little bit as well. And there's also some sharpening options which you can go ahead and find in the main menu. I personally just kept that as standard to medium. But there is some other options in the settings just for pretty much resizing the image, so you can change the letterboxing to make it full screen, or you can change the aspect ratio depending on what your movie is actually recorded in. But in terms of how you go ahead and play movies, obviously there's a disc reader on the front which does pop open. You put a disc in and it simply goes ahead and starts playing automatically, or you can go ahead and cycle through the mode to get to DVD. It does support a wide variety of DVDs, pretty much from all over the world in different formats, and it also supports CDs, which is also really nice. There is a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you can go ahead and plug in some headphones or some car speakers, and having a headphone jack is pretty handy when you're on the go. Obviously you don't want people around you to hear what you're watching. There's also an SD card slot, so in case you don't have the movie on your actual disc, or you want to play something back from a camera, you can go ahead and put the SD card in. And there's also a USB port, so you can actually plug in memory sticks and play back content that way. The only limitation on USB and SD card is that you can only have up to 32 gigabytes, but that is quite a lot considering the movies are 720p. A nice addition, which I was surprised at, was there's an AV in and out port. So that basically means you can go ahead and connect this up to a TV and use it purely as a DVD player, or you can go ahead and connect up two of these together, so when you put the disc in one of them, it will play on the other screen. And that's pretty handy if you want two screens, one on each seat in the back of your car, or if you just have two kids and you want to have two players, then you can go ahead and do that. And then there's also this port on the back which allows you to go ahead and install games on this thing. So it might be good for kids. It also does come with a remote control, so you can wirelessly go ahead and configure all these settings I've been talking about, which is really nice to see. But in terms of if you don't want to use the headphone jack, you want to just purely listen from the speakers in this device, they're not the best in the world. They are pretty loud enough to actually go ahead and watch this in a normal environment. They're not the bassiest speakers. They do tend to be quite tinny, but they are stereo, so you do get that sort of experience of sound coming from the left and right. And overall, I think they're pretty good considering it's a $50 DVD player. When I first put the disc in, it was quite loud with the disc spinning, but when the movie actually began, it did sort of tone down and I didn't really hear much. So that's really nice to see that it is actually quite quiet, because it's annoying hearing a disc spin around when you're trying to watch something. But in terms of how long you can go ahead and watch things for, it's about 5 hours, which is roughly about 2 movies, could be 3 if they're short movies. I think that's actually pretty decent. There's a 2500 milliamp hour battery in this. The battery is obviously rechargeable. You can go ahead and plug it in via a car adapter, or it does come with just a standard AC adapter. So obviously you can go ahead and plug that into your wall outlet. In terms of the size of the device, it's roughly about 12 inches. It's probably the size of an iPad Air, which is pretty big, but it's not like overly clunky. You can definitely fit this in your car or your backpack and bring it places. It's very lightweight and portable. It's quite thick actually. It's a few inches thick, because obviously it does have to have space for the display and all of the ports and the actual disc reader in there. So now I've covered pretty much the whole DVD player. We're going to take a look at how you can get your digital content onto a disc so you can actually go ahead and play this back on the player itself. Okay guys, so in order to actually go ahead and burn to a disc, you will need to download UniConverter by Wondershare. Once you've opened it, you will get this screen here. Simply select DVD burner, or you can go ahead and burn CDs if you go into the toolbox section. Inside DVD burner, you simply want to drag your content into here. So we're going to go ahead and grab some content from an SD card. So once the content is loaded, it's going to show you the file type, the resolution, the file size, and the duration of the video. You have some options to go ahead and crop the video, trim the video, and add some various effects and watermarks as well through this option. You also have the option to add subtitles, and you have some configurations to do with the audio, so you can make that mono or stereo. Selecting menu type allows you to add no menu or a custom menu of your choice. And then you can go ahead and select the aspect ratio, the TV standard, which is pretty much just depending on your location. NTSC is used in North America, and PAL tends to be used in Europe. And then quality, you can go ahead and just select fit to disk. That will mean you get the best standard for your type of disk. Down here is the option to actually choose Blu-ray, but simply because our player only supports standard discs, we're going to just select DVD5. Once you've done this, up here you can choose where the video is actually being exported to, so you can select a DVD folder or just DVD media. We're going to select that and hit burn. Then it will go ahead and burn to your DVD. Once it's done, you can simply eject it, put it in your DVD player, and you can go ahead and watch your movie. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. That's my overview of this $50 DVD player. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe, keep up to date with the other content coming to the channel. Thank you for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys later.